Alrighty, welcome to another Impromptu in the Kitchen with Nick. This series I wish would have taken off, but most of you are here for the bikes anyway. Today we're making a classic Aussie potato salad. And I'm just going and getting all of my ingredients ready, pottering around the kitchen looking for sharp knives while looking at the camera instead of paying attention to what I should be doing. Alrighty, this recipe is super simple. All we need is half a dozen potatoes, 4 eggs, double or triple smoked ham if that's your flavour, chives, spring onion, coleslaw dressing and sour cream. We're just going to get on with it. So we've just got a medium sized saucepan on the go, and we're just going to go ahead and peel all these potatoes, which is the worst part of the job, let's face it. Now I know half my head's been cut off here, but we're more worried about what's on the chopping board than this pretty face being in the shot. Then I'm not going to sit here and peel and chop 6 potatoes for the sake of YouTube. Alright, so we just want a rustic cut potato, just down there, 1, 2, and maybe just size up those bigger pieces and drop them all in the pot like so. Alright, I've got some peeling and cutting ahead of me, so I'll check in once that's done. Okay, so we have our potatoes all chopped. Now that's ready to come up on the stove. Alright, this is an important step, okay? You need cold water. So just fill that right up. Okay, so your potatoes want to cook from cold for, this stove is hideous, 20 minutes. It is important to cook it from cold, otherwise if you pre-boil the water first and cook it for 20 minutes, you'll end up with mashed potato. So 20 minutes from cold is enough to cook it through, enough where it'll be nice and soft, but it won't just crumble when you try and mix the rest of the ingredients through. Alright, now the potatoes are cooking away, we'll put our pot of water on because we're going to hard boil our eggs. Alright, while we wait for the potatoes to cook and the water for the eggs to boil, we're going to work on our sauce, which is the flavour base of our potato salad. And this is a really simple mix. These are 2 flavours which I can't stand by themselves, but mix them together and some gastronomical magic happens, and it is absolutely delicious. So we just got our coleslaw dressing and sour cream, and we're going to use about half a bottle of the we're going to use half a bottle of the coleslaw and a heaped tablespoon of the sour cream, and give that a good mix. So let's just eyeball that. Well, I've used about 2/3 of a bottle, but that's fine because I'm making a slightly bigger batch of potato salad anyway. So fresh new sour cream, get it right in there. That should do nicely. So it looks to be about half as much sour cream as there is coleslaw dressing. The cat's out here doing zoomies. Oh shit. Ugh. I don't like the coleslaw dressing by itself. I just spilt a bit of it on the table. I don't like sour cream by itself. But there is something about this combination of the 2 flavours. It just speaks to me. It really does. Right, so I'm going to give that. Just mix it till it's smooth. The sour cream should not be lumpy, and it should just be one smooth, delicious Now we have a big chunk of sour cream on the spoon there. So don't worry, I wash my hands before I cook. All right. Man, I don't know what it is. I could just eat this whole bowl. That is perfect. The good thing about a recipe like this, you can balance it depending on what your taste is. But about half as much sour cream as you do coleslaw dressing should be perfect. All right, so we've got double smoked ham. And we're just gonna take the whole lot. You can just cut it straight out of the packet if you choose, but I prefer just to go ahead and separate the slices from the packet because I find it easier to separate later. Alrighty, so I don't know, we can kind of see it's in frame even if I'm not. So we're just going to come in, cube all of this ham. So just try and separate your ham as you put it in. Now most of it will separate as you mix it all around anyway. So we have our ham in a bowl. A bit more ham. Alright, we've finished with our little meat board. That can go on the sink. Come back and do our veggies. Now, spring onion. As you can see, I keep my spring onion fresh in, that's just a jug of water there. Alright, so just, what I will do, you know what? You can stick that back in the pot, in the water, and it will grow a new shoot. So there's often just an extra layer. Just cut that off and throw it away. Get your wilty bits, cut that out, throw it away. We'll throw away that bit too. We don't want old bits of spring onion in our salad. So we're going to go ahead and use all of that. Yeah, this is what the scissors are for. We don't need to chop these up. Now, kitchen scissors. Clean them up before you use them on your fresh veggies. Alright, so I don't know, the angle's probably not great there, but don't do massive chunks of it. About a ½ centimetre, 5mm slices. Chop, 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 chop. So here we're looking at about equal parts spring onion, equal parts ham, which is good. All right, I'm back in frame again. Hello. We're going to go check on the water and see if the eggs are ready to put in. All right, so the potatoes are well on the boil, so we'll take that lid off. We'll just give them a gentle mix around. Mainly, you don't want any potatoes sticking and burning to the bottom of the pot. Now, our eggs are ready. Or rather, the water is ready for the eggs. All right. So, hard-boiled eggs. Use this spaghetti spoon to lower your eggs in the pot, and that way you don't risk splashing the boiling water out and you won't crack your eggs in. Alright, once your eggs are in there, if you've timed that right, you'll get them in with 7 minutes to go, so that's 5, 6, 7 minutes. It's not going to hurt the potatoes to be on for another 2 minutes, but we want those eggs to be thoroughly cooked through. Alright, so I'll just leave the potatoes uncovered and the pot on. These are larger eggs than I was expecting. I would have normally put more water in. But that'll be fine. Alright, with the eggs well on the way and about 6 minutes to go until they're ready, our last main ingredient is our chives. Now, you don't need to use so many because they do have a strong flavour, but they are just more of a garnish. So pick out a sprig about that size, maybe a bit more, probably too much. You don't really need more than that. I eyeball everything. It's the best way to cook. Alright, so what we're going to do is finally chop up these. Now you can sprinkle the chives on the top once everything else is mixed through. But I'll just throw them in anyway and give it a good mixing. Alright. Everything I do is rough cut and rustic, so we're going to throw that in the pot. Like so. Okie dokie. So all we've got in here at the moment is our chives, our spring onion and our ham. All we want to do is just give that a mix, and at this point it's mainly just breaking apart those piles of ham. Alright, so here we go. So all we need to do now is just wait for our main ingredients to finish cooking over here on the stove, and then we'll get our sauce mixed in. You can sort of start at this stage to mix it all in through, but honestly that's double handling. It's a lot easier just to get all your ingredients in and mix it all in one go. Alright, so our timer has actually gone off for the eggs, so I've taken these off the heat and they're just sitting in the hot water. Now our potatoes, they're still boiling away because I haven't quite taken them off the heat yet. What you want to make sure, get yourself a nice big chunk of potato there if you can. See that? The way it broke in half. I'm trying to do this one-handed, which is not good for me because I'll end up burning myself. Alright, let's get this down on the bench here. Obviously this one's not going in the pot. Your potato should be soft enough, boop, that you can just pop it in half with the fork like that. Okay, so 20 minutes from cold, and that's perfect. You don't really want them cooking any longer than that, otherwise they'll be so soft that you'll end up with mashed potato. So over here in the kitchen sink, we're going to tip out our potato water into the colander. Now you don't really need to shake them up. Alright, just drain the excess water out, and we're going to put these to one side to cool off. Alright, here we have our hard-boiled eggs. Now all we're doing is adding cold water to the hot. Because we're not serving these warm, they're going into a salad. They don't need to be serving temperature. You can cool them right off. Alrighty. Now this is not a video on how to peel your eggs, so I'll check in once I've got these four done. Okie dokie, so our eggs are peeled. Now these are a bit larger than I'm used to, and so they were still a bit soft and broke apart, but you didn't make a mistake. It's rustic, okay? So hopefully the eggs look, soft-boiled eggs, but that's okay, that's flavour. Just rough cut your eggs. Don't be too fussy about it. Don't worry if the yolk runs. So we've actually ended up with soft-boiled egg, which is fine. But that's a consideration if you're cooking with large eggs. Add a minute to your cooking time. Alrighty, so here's our taters. drop them in. Now you do have a choice here. You can let your potatoes and your eggs cool before adding it in, but I actually find that residual heat helps to thin out that sauce and really helps it to mix in together. So we're just going to scrape all our bits and bobs together. God, that's good. All right. Now, you don't want to go crazy because you don't want your eggs and your potatoes to just fall apart. So carefully, just fold your ingredients through. And this is where I prefer doing this with a bit of warmth still in the potatoes. No, you don't want them to be still boiling, fresh out of the pot. But 5 minutes on the bench. And just continue to fold that through. Until your ingredients are evenly covered in sauce. All right, there you have it. So what needs to happen now is we're just going to stick that in the fridge to cool off, and once it stops steaming, we'll just cover it in foil to keep it fresh and ready to serve. That's the key. Don't serve potato salad hot. Let it cool down, which half an hour in the fridge and that'll be fine. All right. Now, unfortunately, I could just eat this whole bowl by myself. I don't get to do that because this is going to a barbecue lunch tomorrow. We can just have one delectable little mouthful, surely. All right. God, that's good. That is really good. I sound surprised because it is such a simple recipe to do. There's a bunch of ingredients that I don't like by themselves, but I put them all together and that is perfection. And can you really have an Aussie barbecue without a potato salad? I don't think so. No, I'm just literally licking the bowl of all the sauce because I can't stand sour cream and I can't stand coleslaw dressing, but look at me! I can't get enough of it. All right. I better put this away and get it in the fridge before I eat the whole lot. It wouldn't be the first time. I like doing in the kitchen with Nick. It's one of my favourite things to do, but I've got an entirely other channel with these videos on and there's no subscribers, no views. That should tell me something. But I do like getting in the kitchen and I do like getting creative. So this is just going on the playlist here and I'll stick it on the other channel and see if it gets any traction, but it won't. Don't worry, bite guys. I'm not just a cooking channel. This is just one playlist of many. But thanks for tuning in.